Hi, Richard Lehwald and Jasma too. We're facing many challenges right now, but a lot of it's the war on the mind, which we were being sort of pushed. And this is globally, probably one of the first of its kind that most people have experienced in their lifetime. Probably the last time something like this happened, well, actually 9/11 was pretty dramatic, but this could even surpass 9/11 in the way it goes. And what was been very interesting is that just prior to the 9/11 event happening and when it was taking place, there were two government computers, I think they were called the ghost computers, that was monitoring the world sentiment. And they could see on the computers things were spiking and there was a change happening. And I haven't heard of anything going on right now, but if the systems are still up and running, it'll be interesting to see the data coming from it. But from the sheer news media and what is kind of going forth and observations from videos from a whole global perspective, people's hearts are sinking basically in fear. Okay, so I'm going to bring some points here. We'll have some discussions on it because are there things that we can really do about this? And everything begins with us. Okay, so it's for you to govern your own mind. Okay, so I wrote some ideas down. I'm going to just share this with you. And honestly, it's just sharing from the heart. And hopefully, maybe some of this might help you to go on with your life in today's environment. The people of the world are facing a lot of fear, anxiety, and negativity. As we can get swooped into this vacuum of fear, it's best to create what? A mindset of staying positive. Because by that, we're creating also positive energy from us. We can let our light shine. We can affect people around us in a positive way. So don't feel powerless. Be empowered. And it begins with you and your mindset. So change your mindset is to decide to reset, shift for yourself to a positive outlook. Because this is like a storm and this too will pass, okay, given time. Help yourself first so you may help others, right? If you buy into the fear, just like everyone else, you're just kind of going, you're kind of getting into this vacuum of negativity that's just going to suck everybody in. And we're not saying deal with this and respect what is happening in it. And so you can't just be careless and say, hey, I don't care, anything is happening. No, respect what is going on because we don't exactly know. All this is happening on really, you don't see the bugs. We only see the effects, just like we don't see energy, but we see the effects of energy. You think that's a good outlook towards that?
Absolutely. That is certainly, as you mentioned, the mindset is very important. And that's something hopefully we're going to talk about and share with you guys today.
Yeah, so you should question everything and what is it driving you? Like if you get into the fear, okay, hey, what's this all about? So question yourself and everything else globally and locally, okay? Because decisions are going to make on our behalf and maybe, restrictions, we do not face it. What we've seen this happen in many other countries where things get locked down. So being somewhat prepared, but the preparedness is being in your mind. So don't fear, don't come from lack. But yeah, be smart about it to make sure that you have a few things on hand that you can survive for a few days should the necessary things be shutting things down. So we're dealing with many invisible realms and we can certainly, number one thing is maintain compassionate and loving attitudes, okay? Love is really the source of everything. Mm-hmm. And when people get into fear and greed and hoarding and everything else, then it's me first, which has been driving this consumer society. It's me first, I gotta have this. And then if you don't have it, you come from a lack. Believe me, you have a lot of love. Just bring that out. We always need to be moving forward in our life, so even in these situations, know how to heal and let go of fears and all these other things that might grip you, disappointments, whatever, okay? This way you can regain power, and then when you get empowered, let your light shine. Be like the sunshine. Just shine it on everyone so that you can benefit from that. And again, it's your thinking. So as I often say, it's your thinking that gets you into trouble. So if there's negative thoughts, reverse that, okay? And then again, come from a loving way. How can I contribute? The sun does, okay? So what do we need to do? Spread love and not fear. And key to that is stay centered in the midst of change. Okay, so there's a lot of change, but stay centered. Don't get too out of balance. It's all about balance. As well as in these tough times, perhaps, how can you be of service to others, to yourself, and always stay in the service mode? This way, you are the most useful in any condition. So what do we know that, what do people react to? Things come all of a sudden. It's the head, the brain is the reactive side of us, okay? And, you know, even when life first began, they say that the brain that was in the heart was the one that actually sent out the information to cell formation, even to help inform this brain, okay? So, but as we are born and we come into this world, we all of a sudden, you know, this is being programmed. So our five senses in the brain, we program and we filter everything that we sense through our five senses into the brain, and then we react, we respond based on what we know, right?
Yes.
So, you know, so therefore, yes, it's good to educate, look at information, and look where it comes from. And also, I think very important is stay calm. And if you're in doubt, pray about it. Okay, go into your intuition, which gives you access to another 105 senses. And truth will also be wanting to be known. So this is a way by which you can tune in to more truth, okay, rather than react, which is what's happening when you're just using your brain in it. So get back in the head, the brain, gut as well, heart connection, be in tune and be at peace, okay? And just do not react. So maintain this loving, compassionate, and then flow the positive, inspiring energy. You can be that. People go, how can you be like this in this situation? It's okay. Everything is gonna be okay, right? Does it help for you to get into the fear, into the negativity, and say, oh my God, the world is coming to an end, you know? And yeah, again, it's like we hear, you know, just so many things, panics everywhere, you know. So my message is be an overcomer and do not be overcome. And avoid the herd mentality of fear and panic that grips the heart of so many and force them into the herd response. Is the fear of not being able to buy toilet paper and then joining the masses in the herd response. We see that. I mean,
we do.
Costco's and everywhere, empty. And you know, you can't find a roll of toilet paper. Sitting on the truckload of toilet paper isn't going to really help you. Well, maybe, I guess, if you're dealing in toilet paper after it, there might be a powerful way to create money. But again, then you know, you might benefit yourselves to some degree financially and all that. But once we start this chain of events, that's exactly what takes place. One thing leads to the next, and then people start panicking and so on. So to stay well, we have to stay focused on how to create a better health and well-being. And again, staying emotionally stable. Just remember the word emotion is the word energy and motion. So when we get either way, energetically, if we go in and energetically into a panic, we are sources of creating energy, and we're passing this energy on, energy being invisible. So watch yourself. For me, what I do now is I will watch where we're going, because it's very quickly by which we can be affected. So always be on guard, put your shield out there, again, ask the questions, what's kind of going on? And then even it's important from the physical perspective. So we're going to look at, you know, the real issues at hand. When we're looking at people that are succumbing to this situation, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, and there's been many before, this seems to be, or they predict it to be, one of the worst ones out there. I imagine that the Spanish flu But it's again, they put labels on things.
Yes.
But typically it's another type of flu virus. It attacks.
That's basically what it is.
The immune system. It attacks the body in a slightly different way. So what do we do? What is, besides not being swept up in this whole thing and being somewhat in a proper mindset? I think the key is that we need to address the immune system.
It is. Optimizing the immune system is the most fundamental thing, in a nutshell, really what we need to do. We can talk about a lot of things today, and you can read about it, you can hear these on social media as to what people are doing. The basic fundamentals of optimizing our immune system is, I think, the key thing that we can do. Support that through lifestyle changes, through nutritional changes. As you mentioned, our mindset is going to govern that too. Our digestive system, as you mentioned, is primarily where our immune system is living. The health of our digestive system is very, very important too. So instead of perhaps investing in toilet tissue paper, we should be looking at good, wholesome food that we should be buying out there.
Exactly. So maybe some good probiotics if your immune system needs some help. Factors that other people neglect is detoxing.
Yes.
Toxins that people have loaded up are blocking a lot of good cellular capacities out there. So the steps are simple that can strengthen people. Of course, it's going to take a little bit of time, but there's certain things, any change you can make now in a positive direction always will pay off.
Yes.
Right. So for me, it's kind of like invest in you first. Like we see with all these and the effects of the markets, this whole virus thing has affected every aspect of life.
It has.
The markets have tumbled, 50%, 30%, whatever it is, but they've come down a lot. So the things that we've put value on are coming down. And so really in the end, I always stress that your health is your wealth. And then now, and many of the solutions are simple solutions. They're available in simple things.
They are indeed. They are. The solutions are very, very simple. And like I said, we really just need to get down to some basic fundamentals. We've mentioned a few things: nutrition, lifestyle, fresh air, get some sunlight exposure, get good quality sleep, hydrate your body, balance your energy. These are just some basic fundamental things. Sometimes I think through media, through social media, we can easily get caught up, and we're seeing it. We're seeing this hysteria, we're seeing this panic that's going out there. And as you mentioned, these can just sort of snowball. So I think some of the key fundamental things, certainly for me, the past several weeks in my clinic, in my practices, where it's been a lot of people have been coming in, almost in this panic. And, I have to try and reassure them that, hey, here's some of the basic fundamental things that we should be doing. And once people get that information, they seem a little bit calmer, they seem a little bit clearer as to, okay, this sort of makes sense. And we have to remind people that, this is a similar outbreak to the common flu that we have. It's nothing much more extravagant, if you want to use that word, than that. Yes, it is serious, of course, and it's something that we should be conscious about, but this is a strain of a virus that's very similar to the flu. In fact, it's one of the same viruses that often we have the common cold. This is something that affects us. And as you mentioned, those people that need to be really concerned are probably those people with a compromised immune system, with having some form of perhaps autoimmune disorder, or being on some sort of medication that may suppress their immune system. That's the people, and we're seeing that too, we're seeing that if we look at globally, the people that it is, impacting, the people that it's, the people that are passing away from it, the majority of those people seem to be people with compromised immune systems. So, if we can, as simple as, pop a couple of vitamin C's, or, start taking, as you mentioned, some probiotics, some antioxidants, that's going to optimize our immune system. That's going to support our immune system. And sometimes, we can get too paranoid about, spreading germs too. Whilst we need to be conscious, I always say to people, it's not You know, we often say, oh, he or she gave me
Right.
the cold. And I said, well, in fact, he or she didn't. It's you. Your immune system wasn't strong enough to handle it. So I think that's the key fundamental message that, you know, I'd like to give out, is that optimize your immune system. And we can certainly, you know, talk about a couple of key points as to what those things are.
Yeah, well, you know, like when people think of, you know, bacteria and viruses, they're just part of the environment.
Of course they are.
Right? And again, if we're not in balance, then we become the host of these things.
Yep.
And so the simple thing that I just show people or relate to is, once you have a carcass there, whether it's an animal or a human being, and if it just sits there, within minutes, parasites would form. And so where they all come from? Well, they're just part of what happens in nature, in the decomposition process. Okay? Parasites would form. So, and I think that we've heard of pasteurization. It came from Pasteur. It was Pasteur, Bernard, and I forget the other individual. But the theory that Pasteur presented was basically, like today would say, nuke them all.
Yes.
You know, get rid of all the bacteria, everything, and then it's
germ theory.
Germ theory, right? And I think it was Bernard who said, no, it's the milieu. Which in French means the environment.
Yes.
Right? So we create an environment in our body, and if that environment is out of balance, yeah, things are going to happen, right? And I think, like from the work that you do, you can see that in the blood.
Yes.
The blood becomes too acidic, it goes off, a lack of oxygen taking place. What happens?
Yes.
You can see bacteria and whatever in the blood. The blood gets more to balance, they're gone.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and what I find that in the energy testing that I do with people, and you know, people are welcome to, if they are concerned about them, and I make them an offer, they can email me their photographs and ask me a few questions about their energy and their digestive system. And I'm willing to, for the next week, anybody that wants to respond, do this for free.
Right.
Okay?
Excellent.
And just give them a quick report where your immune system is, what can probably help them in that step.
Yes.
We'll just do small parameters, but I get people with all kinds of conditions. It's always digestive, gut related.
Yes.
You know, and so I've had people been labeled with autoimmune and whatever else, and you know, and my goodness, there's no energy in the digestive system. So you are what you eat, digest, absorb, cells utilize. And one key thing is that all cells in the body are made from amino acid proteins, to keep them, because people just, you know, think that you can just eat, dump it in, and the magic happens. Yes, there's a lot of magic happens, but you need to be consciously connected as to what happens. So when you have a weakened immune system, then the not properly digested proteins, which form your cells, and if it's so bad that all your cells are being formed with poor substances, really, now you get all your systems shutting down.
Yes.
Which will include immune issues everywhere in your body. So you get aches and pains, and you'll be whatever, arthritic and everything else in the whole body. Where it begin? So let food be your medicine, and medicine be your food, and change your thinking, and be happy. So stay well, and follow us in our next videos. Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.